Welcome back to another segment of Behind the Scenes of the Waltons. Today, I am doing another segment, taking your questions in an Ask Judy. Hope you're enjoying these, and if you are, please do hit like and subscribe. My first question is from Betsy. She said, if you could personally write a story for the Waltons, would you do it? Where would you go with the characters? And do you think that the mountain would be developed or left unfettered? I would certainly write something for the Waltons. During the series, there was a storyline that came to mind. It was after Eddie Ramirez in The Medal came through, and I thought, oh, it would be a fun character to bring back. And I started to sort of outline and write something, but I never did anything with it. But other ideas have crossed my mind over the years. I know during later seasons, there was an episode where Aaron and Mary Ellen got an apartment in town, and Peggy Ray, who played Aunt Rose, was the landlady in that episode. That was the first time we saw her. And Mary and I would talk about, oh, wouldn't it be fun to have a spin-off with Aaron and Mary Ellen living in town? Clearly that never happened. As far as the actual series, I probably would have not had Mary Ellen get married as early as she did. Perhaps Aaron, who was a little more inclined to all those different romances, perhaps she got married young instead of Mary Ellen, and perhaps Mary Ellen went to school and became an engineer or something. My next question is from Amanda, who asked, with the holiday episodes films, how was it eating turkey and all the trimmings out of season if the food was real? We did tend to shoot out of season, but hey, I'm all up for a great turkey dinner any time of the year. So, and the food was always real. We didn't always get to eat it. I was just recently reviewed The Waiting, which was kind of the Thanksgiving episode in season 8. And although the turkey's brought to the table, all the food is there, and Jason's supposed to, start carving the turkey, never happened. And we never ate any of that fabulous food. So we didn't always get to eat it. And sometimes some of the really good stuff we didn't get to eat. So another question from Amanda was, how did you cope with promoting the show? And if you all appeared on talk shows? We did all appear on talk shows. There were shows that had the whole cast. I think the Dinah Shore show had all of us on, or most of us on. I know some of like Richard and Ellen and Ralph and Michael, I think, did more talk shows. Over the years we did, and I did go out and do some press junkets. I went out one time with John Walmsley and we did a weekend of press junkets doing promotions for the show. We were contractually obligated to do a certain amount of publicity for the show, and I was always happy to do it. And then over the years, and even since the series, I've continued to do a lot of publicity and stuff like that. Fortunately, it's a show that I was always very proud of, so I was always happy to talk about it because I could sincerely say that I was having a wonderful time and I thought the show was great and encourage people to watch it. So that did make it easier. And then she said, were there any restrictions on what you were allowed to say? No, there really weren't, because there were no particular surprises on the show. So we weren't told, oh, don't give away the big cliffhanger at the end of the season. We didn't have big cliffhangers. Mostly we chose not to air dirty laundry. People's personal lives are their personal lives. If they care to share them, they can share them. But we don't share each other's personal life without finding out if it's okay. So it's just a respect thing. And I think that is indicative of the fact that we're family and we look out for each other. Gail, who said some lovely things about the show and my YouTube channel. Thank you very much, Gail. I appreciate that. She wanted to know, I would also love to know which actors melded into the family unit without effort. I particularly love Leslie Winston and Richard Gilliland. So sad to hear of his passing. Yeah, it was indeed. And so, in terms of you're right. Leslie Winston and Richard Gilliland both were just slid right in, and we loved working with them, and they just fit in really well. I can't really tell you that there were particularly people that, oh gosh, that was didn't work at all. You have different relationships with different people, and different members of the cast might be closer to different cast people. So, that But, I've spoken about how wonderful it was with, John Ritter. Even Ronnie Claire Edwards wasn't an original cast member, and she came in and was there forever. So we adored her. And whether you were a big fan of Aunt Rose and the children coming in or not, they were lovely, and we loved having them. So it was, we just tried to embrace new people and make them feel welcome, and do the best work we could do together to create those relationships and those character relationships. And this question from Vincent. So many questions, some personal. Well, okay. What did your parents do for a living? My parents were regular people, My mom had been an acrobat growing up in England, but then she stopped doing that when she was like 16. She and her brother used to tour with an acrobatic act. My father was from Canada, and when they moved to Hollywood, basically Los Angeles, my dad worked driving a truck for an oil company, delivering gasoline to gas stations. My mom worked retail. She worked in a department store for a while. And did various different things like that. So they were regular people. And then, did you live close to the studio or have to wake up at 3 a.m. to commute for check-in? Fortunately, initially when the series started, I was pretty close to the studio. So the furthest I lived was probably 30 miles or something like that. But with traffic, that could be more of a commute than a 30-minute drive. So gotta love those LA traffic, those freeways, yeah. But no, not a huge commute. Initially, early on, Cammie Kotler lived in Orange County, which was a good long commute, and her parents actually ended up moving really close to the studio so that she would not have to get up really early and make that commute back and forth every day. So wonderful parents and real dedication to helping her out in that situation. Okay, so let's see, what kind of childhood house did you have, and did you have siblings? Have a brother and a sister, and we had a small little bungalow type house, 3 bedrooms, 1 small bathroom for 5 people when I was little. So nothing fancy, regular childhood. Did or do you have to wear a disguise to go out in public? No, never had to. It was a different era of the Waltons, and social media, for better or worse, was not a part of that. So yes, we were in teen magazines and things like that, and we did get recognized at times, but it didn't create the frenzy of, say, teen idols or pop stars or things like that. People were generally very nice when they recognized us. And the other thing that was an advantage was because the Waltons was in the Depression, we never were like really glammed up at any point. So I could go to the grocery store basically looking like, hadn't put my makeup on, hadn't really, hair tied back, wearing sweats or whatever, and not worry about somebody recognizing me and thinking, oh my goodness, you look so much better on TV. I always figured that was a great advantage to the Waltons, was that we just always looked like regular people, so I didn't have to, oh gosh, I have to do my makeup and my hair and everything to go to the grocery store, and heaven forbid I get recognized. I don't think any of us really worried about it. We were raised to just sort of be regular people. So I think we've always just kind of thought of ourselves that way, and we were never treated like we were, something really special. What annoys you most when you are recognized? Oh gosh. I think if people are rude, I don't know. I don't think there's a call for that ever. Some people like to make a point of letting you know that you're not special. You're just like everybody else. You're no better than anybody else. And it's like, I never said I was, You're making that assumption that I have some attitude, which I've always tried not to have. So, people like that, I are a little off-putting, definitely. I mean, I just think if people are respectful, then, people you recognize are likely to be nice in return. But if you are rude and aggressive, then you may not get the reception you're hoping for. The only time, sometimes on airplanes. At airplanes, I feel like I'm kind of a captive audience. So if I sit down next to somebody, I like to just read or whatever on an airplane. I'm not one to sit and chit chat through a plane flight, but that's just me. It has nothing to do with who I'm sitting next to. It's just a preference. And so if someone goes, oh, what do? I typically won't tell them I'm an actor, because the usual response is, oh, have you done anything I might have seen? So then I feel like, well, what am I supposed to list my resume now? And it could get into a whole conversation that, I may not particularly want to have at that moment. Thank you, Vincent. Said that you're a second grade teacher and that you have taught some children of celebrities and that they came to school with no makeup or whatever, and we're just like regular people. We are. I know I'm so appreciative of all of you having watched the show. I hope it's a two-way street, that as much as I appreciate you watching, that we have done something that has brought enjoyment to you, and that we have spent however many years together we have, for some of us 50 years, and for others of you who found the show later on, thank you. It has been one of the greatest pleasures of my life to be associated with this show. So thanks for your questions. That's what I have for this segment of Ask Judy. I will be back with more behind the scenes of the Waltons and more Ask Judy. If you have questions, put them in the comments below, and hopefully I will grab one of yours soon for another segment. Thanks for watching.